octal value. To change mode command, you can change the permissions of the file. Okay. So similarly, so you can change the permissions of the file. So that is, suppose that if you have already created the file and if you feel that certain permissions has to be taken away, right? So then you can make use of the umask API, right? Can you see the PPT that I'm displaying? What does umask API consider the parameter as? What does it consider the parameter as? New umask, right? So new umask is nothing but the same. In the same way how you suggest the parameters, always you are going to suggest the permission value with the prefix as s underscore I, you remember, right? And this is for execute permissions for the group, and this is for write permission for the other, and this is for execute for others. So whenever you pass the value in umask, so it means that you are taking away certain permissions. Taking off certain permission is called as masking, right? So you'll be using the you'll be using the, that is API, as umask. Umask is the name of the API that you are going to use in order to mask away certain permissions what you have already given, right? So this will be returning, the umask will be returning the old mask value, right? See, sometimes, so that is whenever you set the environment, so the environment which will be set by the shell, so by default it will be masking certain values, right? So it might be for user, group and others, it will be setting certain mask value, so that old mask value will be returned by this umask API, right? So what does this parameter suggest? What does this parameter suggest? USN 400, what does this parameter suggest? USN 400,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
what does this
Present.
parameter suggest? Umask parameters that you are going to pass. What does it suggest?
Taking the permissions.
Getting the permissions? I hope you were aware, isn't it?
Assigning the permissions, ma'am.
Huh? Be clear.
Taking out certain
Taking,
permissions.
but what did you say earlier? Setting the permissions.
Sorry.
Okay, so it is used to take away certain permissions which has already been given, right? So what will be the return value? What will be the return value? Look at that, I have already written there. It is the old mask value. Okay.
Old mask. Yes, ma'am.
Whatever the mask value that was set earlier, that will be returned. Okay. And new mask value, whatever that you have suggested, it makes in such a way that whatever the permissions that you have passed as parameters, those permissions will be masked off. So for example, if I had created the file with read, write and execute permission for the group. Okay. So once if I execute this umask API, so it will be taking away the execute permission. So it will have only read and write permission. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So how this will be done is, so it will consider the actual permission of the file and it will consider the umask value of the file. Okay. According to this, the value is 0, 3. So this is for group. So usually we write as user, group and others, right? For user, you are not
Yes.
passing off any of the permission. For the group, you are taking away the execute permission, which is 3, right? And for others, you are taking out the write and execute permission, right? So this is not exactly with this. I have written a different example, right? And for others, what should be the octal value if I want to give as it is according to this? What should be the actual octal value? Write and other permissions. Read, write and execute permissions. Write and execute permission. What should be the octal value?
03.
Come on, tell me. What should be the octal value? See, execute for the group will be 3. No, it will be read, write and execute. Okay. So usually you will be using the value as 7. Right. If it is read, write and execute, all the three permissions are given. So then you'll put the value as 7. Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Now, if it is only read permission, what is the octal value that you provide?
4.
100.
Okay. So if it is
Yes.
write and execute, it will be what is the octal value? Write and execute. It will be
3.
3.
3.
Fine. Okay. I have considered
Yes.
different value here, not writing exactly as this. Okay. So it will consider the actual value, and what it performs is it takes one's complement of whatever the mask value that you suggest. Okay. It will take one's complement of whatever the mask value that you are going to provide. Okay. And then it performs an AND operation, and whatever the result that it obtains, that will be considered as the actual permissions. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yeah. Yes,
How
ma'am.
umask will be performed? So if you call a umask function, so what it does is it takes the umask value, performs one's complement of that, and it's going to perform the AND operation with the actual permissions. So the result, whatever that you are going to obtain, so that will be the actual permissions, and that will be used as the permissions henceforth. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
No. So this part was left out in case of the OpenAPI, and you don't need to by heart all these things, right? So as I told you that all the permissions value begins with s underscore I, and the rest of the things you can write on your own. So it is read, write, and execute for user. So only read for user, only write for user. So this is not that difficult. You can just remember. So write for others, read for others, write for others, execute for others. So this is set UID. You don't need to by heart all these things. So you can write the simple things whatever that you know. If at all you want to write any examples as such. Okay. And whenever you use the Open API, you are going to write the mode followed by, if you want to suggest any access modifiers, you can write. So these are the access modifiers: write only, read only. So those are access mode flags, and these are the access modifier flags. And this is how you are going to write the permissions, right? As a third argument. Or else you can, if you don't want to remember that, you can also write the octal values also. So both will be considered. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.